Good evening. It is February 28th, and like we try to start, let's start off with the Lord's Prayer. Well, my computer wants to act like it's going to restart. Let's not do that at the moment. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, the glory forever and ever. Amen. Tonight we are going to read Leviticus 22:17. Oh Lord, those glasses are dirty. 22:17 through 23:44, Mark 9:30 through 10:12, Psalms 44:1 through 8, and Proverbs 10:19. So let's get started. We got Leviticus 22:17 through 23:44. God spoke to Moses. Tell Aaron and his sons and all the people of Israel, each and every one of you, whether native born or foreigner, who presents a whole burnt offering to God to fulfill a vow or as must make sure that it is a male without defect. For cattle, sheep, or goats, it is to be acceptable. For it to be acceptable. Don't try slipping in some creature that has a defect, it won't be accepted. Whenever anyone brings an offering from cattle or sheep or peace offering to God to fulfill a vow or as a free will offering, it has to be perfect, without defect, to be acceptable. Don't try giving God any animal that is blind, crippled, mutilated, or an animal with running sores, a rash, or mange. Don't place any of these on the altar as a gift for God. You may, though, offer an ox or sheep that is deformed or stunted as a free will offering, but it is not acceptable in fulfilling a vow. Don't offer to God an animal with bruised, crushed, torn, or cut off testicles. Don't do this if your own land. Don't do this in your own land, but don't accept them from your Einers, Eigners. Wow. Oh, good Lord. It's been a long day, y'all. Don't do this in your own land, and don't accept them from foreigners. Good Lord. It was a hyphen word. And present them as food for your God either. Because of deformities and defects, they will not be acceptable. God spoke to Moses, when a calf or lamb or goat is born, it is to stay with its mother for 7 days. After the eighth day, it is acceptable as an offering, a gift to God. Don't slaughter both a cow or a ewe and its young on the same day. When you sacrifice a thanksgiving offering to God, do it right so it will be acceptable. Eat it on the same day. Don't leave any leftovers until morning. I am God. Do what I tell you. Live what I tell you. I am God. Don't just desecrate my holy name. I insist on being treated with holy reverence among the people of Israel. I am God who makes you holy and brought you out of Egypt to be your God. I am God. As God spoke to Moses, tell the people of Israel, these are my appointed feasts. The appointed feasts of God, which you are to decree as sacred assemblies. Work 6 days, the seventh day is a Sabbath, a day of total and complete rest, a sacred assembly. Don't do any work wherever you live, it is Sabbath to God. These are the appointed feasts of God, the sacred assemblies which you are to announce at the times set for them. God's Passover beginning at sundown on the 14th day of the first month. God's feast for unraised bread on the 15th day of the same month. You are to eat unraised bread for 7 days. Hold a sacred assembly on the first day. Don't do any regular work. Offer fire gifts to God for 7 days. On the seventh day, hold a sacred assembly. Don't do any regular work. God spoke to Moses. Tell the people of Israel, when you arrive at the land that I am giving you and reap its harvest, of its first grain that you harvest. He will wave that sheaf before God in acceptance on your behalf. On the morning after the Sabbath, the priest will wave it on the same day that you wave the sheaf, offering a year-old male lamb without defect for a whole burnt offering to God. And with a grain offering of 4 quarts of fine flour mixed with oil, a fire gift to God, a pleasing fragrance, and also a drink offering of a quart of wine. Don't eat any bread or roasted or fresh grain until you have presented this offering to your God. This is a perpetual decree for all your generations to come, whether you live wherever you live. Count 7 full weeks from the morning after the Sabbath when you brought the sheaf as a wave offering, 50 days until the morning of the 17th Sabbath. Then present a new grain offering to God. Bring for whoever you are living 2 loaves of bread made from the forequart of fine flour and baked with yeast and waving offering, as a wave offering of the first ripe grain to God. In addition to the bread, offer 7 yearling male lambs without defect, plus 1 bull and 2 rams. They will be a whole burnt offering to God together. When their grain offering and drink offerings offered as fire gifts, a pleasing fragrance to God. Offer 1 male goat for an absolution offering and 2 yearling lambs for a peace offering. The priests wave the 2 lambs before God as a wave offering, together with the bread of the first ripe grain. They are sacred offerings to God to the priest. Proclaim the day as a sacred assembly. Don't do any ordinary work. It is a perpetual decree wherever you live down through your generations. When you reap the harvest of your land, don't reap the corners of your field or gather the greenlings, the glenlings. Leave them for the poor or the God said to Moses, tell the people of Israel on the first day of the 7th month, set aside a day of rest, sacred assembly. Mark it with loud blasts on the ram's horns. Don't do any ordinary work. Offer a fire gift to God. God said to Moses, the 10th day of the 7th month is the day of atonement. Hold a sacred assembly, fast, and offer a fire gift to God. Don't work on that day because it's a day of atonement, to make atonement for you before your God. Anyone who doesn't fast on this day must be cut off from his people. I will destroy from among his people anyone who works on that day. Don't do any work on that day, none. This is a perpetual decree for all of the generations to come. Wherever you happen to be living, it is a Sabbath to complete and total rest. It is a Sabbath of complete and total rest, a fast day. Observe your Sabbath from the evening of the 9th day to the month until the following. Moses, tell the people of Israel, God's feast of booths begins on the 15th day of the 7th month. It lasts 7 days. The first day is a sacred assembly. Don't do any ordinary work. Offer fire gifts to God for 7 days. On the 8th day, hold a sacred assembly and offer a gift to God. It is a solemn convocation. Don't do any ordinary work. These are the appointed feasts of God, which you will decree as sacred assemblies for presenting fire gifts to God. The whole burnt offerings, grain offerings, sacrifices, drink offerings assigned to each day. These are in addition to offerings for God's Sabbaths, is also in addition to other gifts connected with whatever you have vowed and all the free will offerings you give to God. So summing up, the 15th day of the 7th month, you will have brought your crops in from the fields. Celebrate the feast of God for 7 days. The first day is to complete rest, and the 8th day is a complete rest. On the first day, pick up the best fruit from the best trees. Take fronds of palm trees and branches and leafy trees, and from willows by the brook, and celebrate in the presence of your God for 7 days. Yes, 7 full days celebrate. It is a festival to God. Every year from now on, celebrate it. Live in booths for 7 days. Every son and daughter of Israel is to move into booths, so that your descendants will know that I made the people of Israel live in booths when I brought them out of the land of Egypt. I am God, your God. Moses posted the calendar annual appointed feast of God which Israel was to celebrate. Break down Leviticus 22:17 through 23:44. God set standards for acceptable sacrifices. No blemishes, no leftovers, no shortcuts. Worship wasn't casual, it's required honor and intentionally. Then he establishes the appointed feast, the Sabbath, the Passover, first fruits, Pentecost, trumpets, Day of Atonement, and tabernacles. These weren't random holidays, they were rhythm. God built remembrance into the calendar. The theme is God is holy and worship It requires excellence, gratitude, and rhythm. The application says don't give God your leftovers. Give him the first and the best. Build spiritual rhythm with your life. Excuse me. That's good. Mark 9:30 through 10:12. Leaving there, Jesus and the disciples, went through Galilee. He didn't want anyone to know their whereabouts, for he wanted to teach his disciples. He told them, "The Son of Man is about to be betrayed to some people who want nothing to do with God. They will murder him. 3 days after his murder, he will rise alive." They didn't know what he was talking about, but were afraid to ask him about it. They came to Capernaum. When he was safe at home, he asked them, "What were you discussing on the road?" The silence was deafening. They had been arguing with one another over who among them was the greatest. He sat down and summoned the 12. "So you want first place? Then take then take the last place. Be the servant of all." He put a child in the middle of the room, then cradled the little one on his arms and said, "Whoever embraces one of these children as I do embraces me, and far more to me, God who sent me." John spoke up, "Teacher, we saw a man using your name to expel demons, and we stopped him because he wasn't in our group." Jesus wasn't pleased. "Don't stop him. No one can use my name to do something good and powerful. In the next breath, slam me. If he's not an enemy, he's an ally. Why anyone would just giving you Why anyone but just giving you a cup of water in my name is on your side. Count on it that God will notice. On the other hand, if you give one of the one of these simple childlike believers a hard time, bullying or take advantage of their simple trust, you'll soon wish you hadn't. You'd be better off dropping in the middle of the lake with a millstone around your neck. If you if you if your hand or foot gets in God's way, chop it off and throw it away. You're better off maimed and lame than alive than the proud owner of 2 hands and 2 feet, godless in a furnace of eternal fire. Oh, that's true. If your eye distracts you from God, pull it out and throw it away. You're better off one-eyed and alive than exercising your 2020 vision from inside the fire of hell. Everyone's going through a refining fire sooner or later. That's true. I've been doing that over the last couple of years. But you'll be well preserved. Protect from eternal flames by preservatives yourself. Oh, be preservatives yourself to preserve the peace. From there, he went to the area of the Judea across the Jordan. A crowd of people, as was so often the case, went along, and so often did, taught them. Pharisees came up, intending to give him a hard time. They asked, "Is it legal for a man to divorce his wife?" Jesus said, "What did Moses command?" They answered, "Moses gave permission to fill out a certificate of dismissal and divorce her." Jesus said, "Moses wrote this command was only as a concession to your hard-hearted ways. In the original creation, God made man and female to be together. Because of this, a man leaves his father and mother, and in marriage, and he becomes one flesh with a woman, no longer two individuals, but forming a new unity. Because God created this organic union of the two sexes, no one should desecrate his art by cutting them apart." When the disciples brought it up again, Jesus gave it to them straight. A man who divorces his wife so he can marry someone else commits adultery against her. And a woman who divorces her husband, she can so marry someone else commits adultery. So the breakdown of Mark 9:30 through 10:12 says Jesus predicts his death again, but the disciples argue about who's greatest. He flips the script. If you want to be first, you be last and serve. He welcomes children, faith like a child in the standard. Then he teaches on marriage and what God joins don't tear apart, a covenant and convenience. The theme is greatness, humility, leadership, service, marriage equals sacred. The application says kill ego, serve boldly, and protect covenant. Psalms 44, 1 through 8, a psalm of the sons of Korah. We've been hearing about this God all our lives. Our fathers told us the stories their fathers told them, how single handedly you weeded out the godless from the fields and planted us, how you sent these people packing, but gave us a fresh start. We didn't fight for this land. We didn't work for it. It was a gift. You gave. Pardon me. Excuse me. Bless me. We didn't fight for this land. We didn't work for it. It was a gift. You gave it, smiling as you gave it, delighted as you gave it. You're my king, O God. Command victories for Jacob. With your help, we'll wipe out our enemies. If your name, in your name, we'll stomp them into dust. I don't trust in weapons. My sword won't save me, but it's you. You who have saved us from this enemy. You made those who hate us lose face. All day we parade God's praise. We thank you by name over and over. Psalms 55, 1 through 8 says the psalmist remembers how God delivered Israel in the past, not by their strength, but by their hand. Victory didn't come from swords, it came from God's favor. The theme says dependence over self reliance. Fitness training aren't just grind, they're grace. Boast in God, not performance. So true. Psalms 10:19 says, the more talk, the less fruit. The wise measure their words. Ain't that the truth? Breakdown says when words are many, sin is not absent. When words are many, sin is not absent, but he who holds his tongue is wise. Um, more talking equals more opportunity to mess up. Wisdom often sounds like silence. Yeah, I need to learn on that more. Wisdom often sounds like silence. The theme says discipline your mouth, talk less, speak intentional. Power isn't a volume, it's control. That's good. He who holds his tongue is wise. More talking equals more opportunity to mess up. Wisdom often sounds like silence. Ouch. Folks, 17 minutes. Let's go ahead and hop off. I love you. If no one told you today, I do love you. Have a better than good night, and we will see you tomorrow. It'll be March 1st. I love you. I love you. I love you. See you tomorrow.